Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Ray Guitar channel. And today, guys, what are we talking about? Well, we're talking about one of my favorite creators in the world, obviously, because he gave me one of the most viewed videos on my channel as of now. We're talking about Skeeter G.I.S, Skeet Hansen, if you will. A fantastic YouTuber who makes like the predator catching type videos, and honestly is probably one of the highest production values out of that entire community of like predator catchers and like that. They do a fantastic job with their show, and I really love watching it. They're usually pretty funny with it too. I mean, at the end of the day, it is entertainment while also doing a good cause, you know? It just reminds me of the classic, like, To Catch a Predator videos, and that's definitely the format that they're going after. But recently, ladies and gentlemen, if you did not know, Skeeter G.I.S went on Inside Edition, and they did a whole, like, little documentary-style video on who Skeeter G.I.S is and the internet vigilantes. Pretty much throughout this entire video, they deceptively edited stuff out of context, his answers to different questions that they posed.
Some people have called you a video vigilante. Is that fair?
I don't really care to be called a vigilante. I think, a vigilante is someone sort of, like Batman. I'm just out here making, entertaining content for people to watch on YouTube, and I don't associate myself with the term vigilante.
This is vigilantism, and private citizens taking law enforcement into their own hands is a problem for our society.
Really just trying to paint it in the worst light as possible for clicks and views, because at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen, this is the internet. It's an entertainment business. Nobody really cares whose back they have to stab in order to get ahead, you know? Which is kind of crummy, kind of disgusting, but especially from like a mainstream media outlet, you don't really expect much else. They're dealing with a bunch of old, brain-rotten boomers that don't understand what the new world is like, what the internet age is like, and they just see, oh, these guys are going out and doing this stuff, well, they must be evil, they must be awful because they're YouTubers, not realizing that these same people have most definitely watched To Catch a Predator, which is the exact same thing. Anyways, this entire hit piece pretty much culminates in one of the greatest, like, little internet beefs that I've seen so far, is Chris Hansen calling out Skeeter G.I.S. This is ridiculous. So let's get into it, let's watch, let's see the clip.
That's how his latest sting went down in this Michigan hotel room.
What brings you here?
Somebody named Tristan. Yeah.
Apparently unsure if he's in trouble or not, the target of the sting repeatedly asks if he's free to leave.
Am I free to go, though?
I just want to ask you a few questions, Dave. I love how they sort of misconstrued this to make it seem like I was making him stay there.
I've watched this video because, I'm a little bit of a Skeeter G.I.S fan, I gotta be honest, but I'm almost positive that throughout this video, the guy only asked, once if he was allowed to go, and they just said, oh, well, we're gonna ask you a few questions.
What's that?
I have no idea. Do you want me to check?
Somebody here?
No.
What kind of pizza we have tonight?
Who's this?
I'll get to that in a minute. Who are you?
Who are you?
You tell me first. You're Jeff, right?
Yeah.
And what are you doing here tonight, Jeff?
Hanging out.
Hanging out with whom?
With her.
Who's her?
I want to know who you are.
I want to know a little bit more about you first.
Now, we don't tell them you can leave, because if you tell them they can leave, what's going to happen?
They're not going to leave, but we also don't tell them that they can't leave,
Exactly.
because that would be false imprisonment.
We just want to ask you a few questions first.
Basically, just ignore the
Before
question.
you leave.
The police on standby, by the way.
Before he gets up to go, his security calls 911.
I have here a man who is here to have sex with a 13-year-old girl caught in a sting operation.
So you guys are going on the internet and trying to lure people to the hotel?
You have the...
Oh, I love how they kept that part in there.
They
The
definitely cut that
911
in. And
operator.
you know what they cut out is where we all, almost in unison, said, no, we're not luring anybody.
Yeah, it was like they
like, no,
come here on their own free will.
Yeah, we don't lure anyone, because if we were to say yes, then that means so you're entrapping people.
A little bit further in the video, they use Chris Hansen as like a cudgel to beat these guys over the head with, basically. They go to the old guard, the guy who did it first, on their fucking mainstream gay bullshit. And it's like they don't understand just how retarded and hypocritical they sound. You are literally asking the guy that does the exact same thing as them. Oh, does Chris Hansen ever say that they're free to go? No, he just says, I just want to ask you a few questions first. It's the exact same format. It's the exact same thing. It's just guys who are making it on this alternative platform, this new up-and-coming platform, that these people are extremely scared and frankly even jealous about. You know, it's just like, they're getting numbers that they can barely even hit half of, and they're like, oh, well, why does everyone want to watch them, but no one wants to watch us on our stupid Inside Edition? It's because you guys are a bunch of old bastards that nobody cares about. Nobody knows who you are.
You have the police on standby, you said.
Yeah, and that basically just means that we have, 911 on standby. It's just another way.
You don't have the police on standby.
Essentially, no.
So you lied to him.
Pretty much.
Doesn't everyone have the police on standby, you fucking retard? Like, what? That's like the most just hit PC bullshit ever. And honestly, Skeeter Jean should have understood that what they were gonna do. You know, these old guard media people are just gonna try everything in their power to smear the internet as best as they can because they're slowly being beaten out by it. They see the trends are going away from them, and they're angry about it.
And what's wrong with that? I lied to a predator, so what? It's not a crime.
Real Chris Hansen think of all of this?
It's amateurish at best, and in the
At best?
At best?
Amateurish?
Let's see how many subs
Amateurish at best.
Mr. Chris Hansen has.
He's at 398,000 subscribers.
Quite a respectable number.
That's pretty respectable.
Pretty respectable. But let's go to the real Skeeter Jean.
555,000 subscribers. Well over 500,000.
I believe the term from Jay-Z is numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
Check the scoreboard.
True.
But
I
we're
guess
amateurs.
I guess we're amateurs.
We are
But
indeed
okay.
In the worst case scenario, it's very dangerous what he's doing here. He's pretending to be law enforcement, calling...
How? At what point am I pretending? Hold on.
It's very dangerous what he's doing here. He's pretending to be law enforcement, calling himself the predatory investigative unit. That's clearly an inference or an attempt to make the target believe he's got some authority, which he doesn't have.
It's not, though. That's not the intention of it. So when I go in there and I tell them that I'm with the predatory investigation unit, that's just me telling them basically that I'm a part of this organization that catches online predators, which is what it is.
Which is literally what it is. That is the business.
That is literally what it's called.
Literally.
Now, I don't say that we work directly with the police or that we're part of the police, but I also don't say that we're not part of the police.
And whenever Skeeter Jean goes on to say that, you could literally make the same case for Chris Hansen. Chris Hansen always loves to describe himself as an investigative reporter just trying to get to the bottom of a story. He's not in it for the money, he's just in it for the story, man. These guys are a new age form of investigative reporter. They're completely independent, and that scares you, I understand. But it's an investigation, and they're investigating into online predators.
I mean, I've seen him, ask for the guy's ID. Remember how Lisa questioned me on that? She's like, you're asking for his ID?
Anybody can ask.
Anybody can ask for an ID.
You could just say no.
Yeah. But what I'm saying is Chris Hansen has done that and if you're in trouble and someone asks you for that, wouldn't that make you think that they might have some kind of authority? We have an armed security guard too,
right.
So it's like...
Which they also neglected to mention, by the way.
Yeah, they did, absolutely.
Hansen now hosts True Blue Nation on the True Blue streaming network, where he says he embeds with law enforcement before taking down alleged child.
Dude, why do they got 5 fucking cops on this guy? That's ridiculous.
That's
crazy. But you can't tell me they didn't do this for the views.
No, this is not for the views.
This many cops?
This amount of cops to take down this one unarmed,
out of shape male that's not going anywhere.
Yeah, he needs to pick up the weights and put down the BK.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
They do not need 5 officers.
And that's absolutely true. Like, To Catch a Predator was very much for the fucking views all the time.
Once he gets his clothes back on, he walks outside and is arrested by that camouflaged officer.
Police on the ground! Especially that entire episode that they mentioned where the police literally dressed up in ghillie suits in order to catch a predator. Like, that is a joke. And you're acting like you're some high and mighty man doing it for a good cause. Like, go fuck yourself, Chris.
I think the vast majority of the vigilante predator catchers out there are doing it for clicks and profit. And they're trying to make a name for themselves on YouTube or any other social media platform, just as a comedian is trying to do. But in this case, you're inducing somebody to break the law with no protections.
Then almighty Chris Hansen, please tell me why on God's green earth do you have your own YouTube channel? Why do you have your own show behind a $5 paywall? If it is not for the views and for the money and for the profit, just a dirty lying sack of shit, dude. But at the end of the day, they're just people. You can't expect anyone to be perfect. You know, even me, I'm definitely gonna make mistakes in my life, and I'm happy to make them because that's who I am. I'm a human being, you know? Also, if you wonder what I have in my mouth, why I sound a little funny, I'm eating one of those strawberry hard candies with the gel in the center. The best candy imaginable, man. I love these granny candies so fucking much. I would always get them from my grandma. Every time I went over, she always had like a big old bowl full of them. My favorite fucking shit ever, man. I am an old woman at heart. I truly am. So, at the end of the day, what does the Ray Guitard really have to say about all this? Well, Chris Hansen is a hypocrite. Skeeter Jean absolutely dunked on him, absolutely destroyed him, decimated his entire career. His life is over. He's gonna stop breathing soon. But seriously, it's like, I don't know, man. What did you expect, Skeeter? Did you really think that they were gonna shine a good light on you? Did you actually have high hopes for these people, to be honest? I don't know, I didn't expect it. Other than that, like, comment, and subscribe for more videos in the future. And if you want to help out the channel a little bit extra, you can always share around the propaganda, alright? You can show everyone this video, you can share it to all of your friends, all of your family, all of your Skeeter Jean homies, and even Skeeter Jean himself. It just helps out the channel immensely. Just going that little extra mile, but at the end of the day, you don't really have to. Gay retard out.